force on the phone line, and then the male speaker resumes talking, thanking the narrator for expressing the opinion that this call was similar to those they might shared when they were neighbors in 1958. That the narrator has already known that the mobs will burn his house. He knows the danger, and it is very emotional to read how he is lamenting over the books in the library. So basically the book represents the knowledge. In this episode, the animal creates an emotional effect, but he speaks about the mobs in a sarcastic manner. So the seventh line is very important because it talks about the North Place and the violence in North Place. That the Gunadna reports the situation in Jaffna, pointing at the 100 guns that whistle through the Palmyra fences. She debates a sudden escalation of violence in Jaffna and turns to Colombo via shop fronts of Paris in fire. She sounds sentimental about them in landmarks of her childhood, and in the comparison to them to the old photograph that convey her attachment to them. So here the writer has ironically portrays how the 4-day long fire could rise to the ground of lifelong construction work. From the building, she turns to human. That in the first lines, she talked about the buildings, that the landmarks, that the Jaffna, Peter. So she talks about the main places in Sri Lanka as the buildings. Then she comes to the human life, that the three boys were lying, their khaki uniforms soaked in a blood, simply in torture they have undergone. So yet the crowd that ignores them silently represents the lack of commitment to justice similar. So as well as a similar situation appears at the corner of Duplication Road, where a child is dead near the wheels of a smashed bicycle, and a stout man kneels beneath the boat tree in a shower of sticks on stones. So here the boat tree is a representative of the Buddhist, and also that the boat tree is a fail to protect the man symbolizes the absence of the compassion in a home of Buddhism. So the Guru highlights the pities of politics as the cause of the destruction personal relationship undergone in this situation, where the joys of the childhood friendship of youth disappear in the flame. So in the last line of the stanza, Sri Lanka burns alive. So it's an effective visual imagery that the poet has used, that the the line shows the readers how the Sri Lanka burns alive. It shows the violence and the racial violence of Sri Lanka. So these are the analyzing of the poem, and there are some themes reflected by the poem. That violence is the main theme of this poem. That the Sri Lanka was considered as a multicultural and multi-religious country, but in 1983, the silence of the country has been discredited for violence. So the rights of a human has been harassed. So the violence has been the main theme. Not a violence, it's a racial violence between the two clashes. So and also the mastermind behind the war, the politicians, singular politicians. So the selfish attitudes of the politicians